Chapter 12. Deep Thinking and Injured. Knowing it was cool out, I went back into my room to grab a jacket before walking around outside. And as soon as I grabbed the jacket, I walked all the way back down and out the front door of the school. When I stepped outside, I could feel the cool breeze whip by me as the cool, misty air wrapped itself around me. I thought about Severus, my feelings, and the confusion involving him. Sometimes he confuses me with his actions, especially lately. I guess it's because the way he really is. I don't know. I have such mixed emotions, more and more, and it's hard at times to ignore it. I mean, he's my teacher after all, and I'm one of his students. Our connection lately is tough to ignore. We kissed and had sex. It was wonderful, don't get me wrong. Everything lately has felt so good, but at the same time, however, he's also bad for me. The side that he's slowly opening up to show me is different than what everyone else sees. Why does he hide himself like that? I mean, there is potential for a relationship between us. Bloody hell, it'll be the death of me once he finds out that what we did is somehow starting to spread. Maybe I should go to the lake and sit underneath a tree. That'll ease me. I sighed as I paid attention and walked towards the lake. It was a semi-long walk, but I didn't mind as I needed to clear my head some to properly focus. The lake appeared like it was really cold if you were sticking your feet into it. You can see how big the tree is by a certain distance, making it appear breathtaking in a way. You can also start to see its shadow as the sun rises more and more. I sat down underneath the tree and pulled some grass while thinking about everything, getting deep into thought. He seems one way, but acts another, and yet recently, he seemed to let down a wall a bit. I mean, I know I had a teacher's crush, but he wanted the same thing too. He also wanted to kiss me and also wanted to get intimate. Deeply glancing at him up close is different. He hypnotizes me in a way that my teenage self can barely explain. I have no clue what I'm in for either, but I do know it's tough to ignore what I feel. What I did is out in the open now. I can't help how I feel about him. Some may judge me for this, but to me, he's sexy and attractive in a mysterious way. I can't explain it. Something about him is craving and lustful. It's dangerous but hot at the same time. When I think of him or when he's near, I can't focus. Certain things drive me mad, and yet sometimes I crave more when I know I shouldn't. Is being with him the right decision? It doesn't feel right to crave or want with a young teenager with high emotions. I don't know how much of this I can handle without wanting to explode. Somehow, he almost makes me feel right when it's wrong. Since we got intimate, some of those feelings somewhat feel stronger or a tad more certain. Is it because he's much older and wiser, even though he's one of my teachers? After all we've done so far, is whatever we have worth pursuing any further? Should I try and put these feelings aside even though I'm falling? Has this been worth it? I wish I could read what my heart is saying to find out the answer. I honestly don't know what to do. Suddenly I quickly turned my head around to see a tall black figure standing there. I jumped back, startled, not knowing who was standing there, and grabbing my wand for the fence. I turned around again to get a better look, and I realized it was Severus. I didn't say anything as he seemed to stand there for a moment, so I stood up. He walked over to me and slapped me across the face without saying a word. I immediately fell hard to the ground on my knees as I felt the spot where he slapped me. I felt the stinging pang on my cheek as I held back tears. I looked up angrily. What the bloody hell was that for, Severus? His voice raised. He looked mad. Tell me, why did you tell everyone we slept together, Miranda? I didn't. Only my friends know about it. Hermione, Harry, Ron, Neville, and the Weasley twins. That's it. You little insolent liar. I'm not lying. I swear, Severus, I'm not. You said only my friends, and that's what I did. I followed your orders. How did I find out during breakfast then? Half of the students and staff know what we did. I told you to only tell a few people. That's what I bloody did, Severus. I don't know how they found out, but it wasn't for me or my friends. You have to believe me. His face was getting red, and he looked really angry as he slapped me again. Jesus, I've never seen him like this. I'm scared. I don't believe you. You can get me fired and it'll be your fault because of having sex with a student. You wanted it just as much. How is it my fault? Without saying anything, he kept hitting me, and soon he was punching me. He used physical harm, not magic. He kicked my side, hitting my rib as I screamed and cried lightly in pain. Please stop, Severus. I'm telling the truth, I swear. He put his hand on my mouth to keep me quiet. He wasn't listening to a word I was saying, and I don't know who this is anymore. I'm terrified, and I need to get away. I got his hand off of my mouth as Harry, Ron, and Hermione came running, seeing him hurting me. I saw Hermione run inside the school to get Professor Dumbledore and Professor McGonagall. Harry and Ron dashed over to get Severus to stop by jumping on him and using spells, but he just kept pushing them off. Severus was truly angry. I'd never ever seen him like this. I wasn't even crying in tears of pain at this point. It was of horror. Professor Dumbledore and Professor McGonagall came towards us. Professor Dumbledore grabbed Severus and pulled him far away. Professor McGonagall helped me up as I immediately hugged her, muttering, "Thank you." She looked at me with tears as I was holding back, then at Professor Dumbledore as he stared at me. My body shook with fear and the look of betrayal, hurt, and fear in my eyes. I didn't expect Professor McGonagall to hold me in a tight embrace, but she did. I glanced over at Harry as it seemed like he was about to explode on Snape with anger. Ron and Hermione seemed to be shocked as I was hurt badly by what he did. I have a black eye, a bloody hurt nose, possibly a bruised rib or more, and even more bruises throughout my body. My jacket and robe were damaged, but I was physically and emotionally. I turned my head to look at Snape as Professor Dumbledore was holding him back firmly. "Calm yourself now, Severus. What has gotten into you?" I yelled out to him in front of everyone. "Why did you do this to me, Snape? I've never in my life expected you to be filled with such hatred and anger, especially towards me. I have done nothing bad to you except all good things. Everything was fine between us until these few moments. I only did what you asked, and you don't believe me. I don't know how people found out that we slept together, but it wasn't for me or my friends. It's not our fault that we have these feelings that cannot be ignored. It's not my fault that I'm slowly falling in love with you and I can't stop it." The tears in my eyes started to fall as I tried to hold them back to be strong, but I couldn't. I didn't want everyone to see me crying once more and break down, so I broke free of Professor McGonagall's embrace. I started to run as I faintly heard my name being called, begging for me to come back. I didn't care if I was badly injured and I couldn't even run well. I needed to cry. I tried to be strong, but I can't. I physically can't. I'm too tired. My vision soon got blurry from the tears as I fell to the ground. Hermione, Ron, and Harry ran up beside me, followed by Professor McGonagall behind them. Professor Dumbledore ended up letting Snape go as we all watched him walk away inside the school. A couple minutes later, I stood up carefully as everyone helped me to the hospital wing. Once there, Madame Pomfrey said I would be there for a couple of days, maybe so that I could fully heal from all the wounds. Soon, everyone left except Harry. He wanted to stay. Snape tried to come in as I shook my head no. Right away, Madame Pomfrey told him to get out as she could sense that I didn't want to see him. At the moment, I didn't want to see him at all. Not now, anyway. I was too scared and horrified by everything that occurred. It was just me and Harry as Madame Pomfrey left the area. I looked at Harry. "Thanks for saving me, Harry, and for staying. You don't know how thankful I am." "You're welcome, Miranda. Harry, Ron, and I had to do something. We couldn't let Snape just have beat you up like that." "Yeah, I know. I don't know why he did that. I only did what he asked." "I'm not trying to bring it up, Miranda. But why did he do that? As a teacher, that's—" "I know what you're going to say, Harry. He said I told everyone that we slept together when we didn't. He didn't believe me, and that's when he first slapped me." I could feel tears welling up in my eyes again as I started to shake, and he could visibly see it. Harry immediately grabbed my hand and lightly squeezed it. I glanced at him as I faintly smiled, and he smiled back. I mean, I'm starting to trust Snape enough to feel comfortable with him, and you know it takes a lot for me to trust people, Harry. Then he goes and does this to me out of nowhere when I can't help what I feel deep down. I started to cry a little without realizing it. I felt the grip of his hand tighten ever so slightly as he used his thumb to rub it against my thumb. Miranda, come on. He's not worth your tears. Don't cry, Harry stated as he was trying his best to comfort me. Still deep down, I won't ever forget that Severus Snape somehow did this to me, and it's going to scar me. I do know this, Harry, I started as we looked at each other. I never want to become a victim or feel this way ever again.